Hello. We didn't pick a host. Hi. Great start. I'm Vaughan Jones. You're listening to Traffic Jam on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com. We're recording this Wednesday, the 29th of April at about 3:30. It'll probably get posted on Thursday, but this is from Wednesday in case you were curious. I'm here. I'm Vaughan Jones. I'm here with my good friends and Traffic Jam co-hosts. Please say your name. I can't gesture at you like we're in the studio.
He gestures and we're all in the same square.
Please.
So I'm Kirsten Dorman. I used to be the producer, but now there's nothing to produce.
There's no studio to produce in.
Okay, I'm Gideon Kariuki.
Yes.
I'm Nicole Pinter.
And this is the Traffic Jam. We're missing Keenan O'Rourke. We miss him deeply, but he's around.
I'm sure he's something very important, right?
I bet he is. I bet he's probably in class or something, but who knows? We're going to jump right into the news on our good old-fashioned Rona time doc. But we're recording this via Zoom, and I'm super excited to actually do this. I miss this very deeply.
Same.
Gideon, this one is all you. This first story is all you, my guy.
Okay, so the USG Tempe elections concluded last week, and two words I've been hearing a lot from people are dumpster fire. And let me explain why people are saying that. So the elections department forced a runoff for Barrett the Honors College, the IRA Fulton School of Engineering, and the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences because of seat misappropriation. In the end, though, the college was forced not only because of the misappropriated seats, but because Clay Robinson, a candidate running in the college, had his name left off the ballot initially, and if he by less than 250.
Right, there's a lot of issues with that. We had Corey Ball, who was our Director of Diversity and Inclusion. He was put, I think it was the CHS ballot, when in fact he's a Cronkite student now.
Yeah, he transferred from CHS to Cronkite.
Oh, yikes.
He won, and he obviously couldn't serve as CHS senator, and he didn't want to either. He didn't ask to be put on the ballot. He didn't campaign. And by elections code, because he didn't submit any expense reports ever, he shouldn't have been on the ballot.
Yeah.
So all very confused.
So not only did it happen to our dear friend Corey, that actually happened to a dude named Camden Mag, who won the Teachers College seat in Tempe, despite not submitting a finance report, not campaigning, and officially voting out a month before the election.
Oh, big winner.
And
ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding.
For real. And here I was, because I was in the USGD election campaign thing. I was nervous every Friday, like, did I remember to submit my expense report? I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
Unfortunately.
Which is funny because, okay, I should note I'm currently working on a story for Blaze.
He's knee deep in the story.
Yeah, about United Voices for ASU, which we'll get to in a second. But and one of the candidates was actually not even one of the people I was interviewing, Judah Waxabaum, the chairman of the Arizona Federation of College Republicans, who's involved in student politics, dude, is like, yeah, you don't submit a finance report, you can get disqualified. He had multiple friends who were disqualified.
This is just weird, and I understand that there's obviously like a lot of really strange and unforeseen circumstances going on, but like, come on now.
I know.
Your focus should still be on this.
It makes people take us less seriously on other campuses also. Like USGD is probably one of the most organized student governments as far as campuses go, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, but
conflict of interest. Someone ring the bell.
We're well organized, I like to think, and we're really transparent. Like everything we do is like accessible to like all of everybody, you know. And then USGT comes along and they're like, haha, here's a serving of controversy. Hi, how are you? Like,
Oh yeah, and I didn't even get started. Despite that's the elections department side of the controversy. I mentioned United Voices for ASU for good reason.
Oh, yo.
United Voices for ASU was a slate of 7 senatorial candidates running in Barrett the Honors College, the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, the Teachers College, and W.P. Carey. 4 of them ended up winning in the end. One in the Teachers College, Yamilet Ibanez, the candidate who lost to a non-candidate. By the way, she was cracking jokes about it the day the Supreme Court ruled in her favor. And also 3 candidates in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Alexia Isai, Staniel Lopez, and Bridget Konya-Seydu won, winning 3 out of the 4 College of Liberal Arts and Science seats.
nice.
I bring all this up because why I'm actually doing this story is because they've been making waves. They've been in the state press a couple times over different controversies.
Yeah.
Actually have been in 2 different, actually the whole slate has been in one elections department case and 1 Supreme Court case. And crazy enough, because of the initial elections department complaint, they got 3 infraction points deducted on them for some internet posts that the elections department determined to be a threat to President Michael Crow and the community. I can't say some of them on air. Some of them were a little profane, but
Probably best not to repeat threats to Michael Crow and the community on air also.
no. They weren't exactly one of okay.
Michael, to clarify, we love you.
Yeah.
We love you, Mike.
Yeah.
I have his business card in my wallet because I saw him at the downtown ASU Starbucks one time and bothered him, but he was super nice.
Aw, there you go.
Wonderful. But
No, it's a hard job. That's all I'll say.
yeah. And actually the Crow threat refers to one of the candidates saying that you wanted to yell at Crow.
Oh,
So I just want to put that out there and take it as you will.
If someone said they wanted to yell at me, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
they have to raise their voice at you.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would just be reduced to a puddle of tears personally.
Yeah. So that initial complaint was filed by Judah Waxelbaum, who I mentioned I interviewed. And he also ended up filing another case against one particular candidate, Alexia Isai, for a post where she went death to America. And by the way, both Waxelbaum and Isai said the thing happened. And in the end, the Supreme Court, which, yes, it made it to that level, ruled in favor of Alexia, saying that this is a First Amendment case, can't rule on it.
Just really bad optics.
No one has clearly no one has taken mass comm law and understands First Amendment law like we do.
No, I'm not taking mass comm law under like that.
I got a B-, so I don't think I'm clear to rule on the case. I don't think I'm cleared to rule on the case.
So I think.
Oh no, but it's just a very interesting thing. I'm just sorry. I know this is a very long story.
But give us the big controversy tea.
Oh yeah. Another thing that I talked about a lot with the candidates and everybody is the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement concerning Israel and Palestine. Essentially, if you don't know what that is, essentially it's this movement among pro-Palestinian activists to stop investing in Israel for what they say is an occupation of Israel, occupation of Palestine by Israel. And if those of you who have a pretty decent knowledge of student politics at ASU Tempe know about the controversy that happened last semester, where a few senators, including 2 of which I interviewed, Diane Solorio and Bridget Konya-Seydu, were 2 of the co-sponsors of a Senate resolution to urge ASU to do the same, and it caused, I think, hoopla would be an understatement. It was it caused 2 packed Senate meetings, the bill getting pushed to the second meeting, and the bill wound up being pulled and replaced.
Yeah.
And that sponsored it had to resign, but that was for slightly different stuff.
Sounds like a lot of hoopla.
Yeah, and
I don't want to, disclose my personal opinion on the situation, like the politics of it, but I think just them writing that resolution in general, I'm really shocked to hear that, I don't know, their advisors over in Tempe, I'd be shocked to hear that they didn't, like, it sounds like their advisors didn't really tell them that this wasn't going to be super well received. Not
well,
sternly enough.
Yeah, and I guess this isn't to weigh on the politics of what I think about this or anything, but I can tell you, I think I can hand this as free advice for anybody wanting to talk Israel and Palestine, is you're very likely to not get a good reception from somebody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it's from or what.
Yeah, it goes back a little further than you. No matter who you are, that conflict goes back a little further than you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had. By the way, like with everybody I interviewed for this, the candidates, Waxelbaum and one of their supporters, Kim Adversario, like everybody mentioned that as a pivotal thing for United Voices.
Yeah.
Like, and even United Voices cited it as a thing that was pretty important. And I guess to sort of wind up this tale, because once again, this story's crazy long.
Just a lot of tea.
To sort of wind this up, like to focus on the candidates themselves, United Voices actually did bring in a lot of different people to support them. They got support from most of the cultural coalitions of ASU, including El Concilio, the Latino Students Coalition, the Black African Coalition, and a ton of other clubs. They got support of almost all the left-leaning leftist clubs, like Young Democratic Socialist, Students for Socialism. And of course, with that came, as I've mentioned up until sort of hinted at, like they had a lot of opposition. People like, I was interviewing like Judah Waxelbaum from the College Republicans, the College Libertarians.
I'm stunned.
Are not big fans of United Voices.
I'm stunned. That the people who got the endorsement of all the leftists are drawing the ire of the college Republicans and the ASU Libertarians.
Could you imagine?
Shocked.
Yeah, I mean,
why can't we all just get along?
Can we just sit in a circle and all sing?
Oh, it's because of fundamental differences in belief. Oh, I get it now.
Honestly, it's also an interesting contrast to the Fees Palmer dispute.
Oh,
that's a whole nother can of worms. But
no,
they had to have a runoff election. These were both presidential tickets over there. They ended up needing to have a runoff election. They had the runoff election, and then the day that they were announcing the results, they said, well, we can't release the results today because there's a Supreme Court case going on to do with infractions that one of the tickets basically has filed against them. And, they got to figure that out first before we can tell you who won. Turns out it was the Fees ticket. They were, like, I don't know if convicted is the word, but they basically ruled that they had committed 4 infractions, one of which was, I think, a 3rd degree infraction, which got them 9 points, which immediately disqualified them. And then they had 2 more, I believe it was 2 more that they had 3 points each on top of that. So they ended up with somewhere around a total of 15 infraction points altogether. And they are not happy, and neither are a lot of the people over at Tempe. If you go on Instagram and look at the expectmore.asu Instagram, wow, they are very unhappy. They made 2 posts about it so far, trying to argue against that. Basically, they were caught breaking the elections code, plain and simple.
Really need to point out about both of the posts that Expect More, the Fees ticket put up.
Mm-hmm.
Them denied that any of this happened.
Well, they were also denying that they were in the wrong for doing things that were blatantly malicious toward
Yeah.
the ticket. They basically encouraged each other to go and some of them, at least one of them, was reporting comments in support of the Palmer ticket, and then the rest of them were bombing comments in support of the Feast ticket. And it wouldn't be a problem if it was only the likes. The issue was that they were doing it, they were in the comments with malicious intent, reporting other comments that were in support of the Palmer tickets, basically to hide them.
Well,
So.
this is a whole mess. I'm excited for Gideon's story to come out to kind of get some more perspective on this.
Yeah.
But we got some more ground to cover.
We gotta move on.
Yeah,
we do.
We can totally make this 40 minutes, by the way, in case anyone was curious. We can keep this going. My story's next here. This happened last week, but it was so funny, and I had to bring it up. In the Arizona House of Representatives, Shauna Bullock, who is a incumbent in the House of Reps, may be ruled ineligible for re-election due to, on certain forms, listing her personal residence address as a UPS store in Phoenix. And she
I don't get it.
basically when brought into question about this, she was like, yeah, that's my home address. And then upon very, very not so close, easy to do investigation, it was found that this is a UPS store. And if she loses her seat, that would make it a 30-30 split in the Arizona House of Representatives, and the Democratic Party may seize control in the House of Representatives for the first time since 1966.
All because she put her address as
She
UPS.
put her home address as a UPS.
And I really have to note here, and the reason, and what she's going, because this is currently a court case that is pending in the state court system, and what she is probably going to cite is her husband, Clint Bullock, who was an incumbent Supreme Court justice. Under law,
Super cool, very cool, not conflict of interest thing also, by the way. Very cool that I really like that they're both in politics.
Anyways, so yeah, both of the Bollocks are allowed on voter registration forms and a lot of other information to keep the address private because,
Yeah, they don't want anybody to come get them.
Exactly. It's a protection thing. However, there is no clarification on what if my spouse is in the legislature. So.
Oh, I see. See, I think just because she might have had a PO box there.
Yeah, this is going to be like a thing that they're going to rule on. This seems like a first that they're going to have to rule on. So it's like it's interesting, and I'm sure it will develop further.
Can you she's at the UPS store brushing her teeth or something, and they're like, "Ma'am."
She takes a shower in the bathroom. They're like, "Ma'am, this is in your house."
Robe and with a towel on her head.
You go into the bathroom and one of the sinks has a cup with a toothbrush and toothpaste. She's like, "If this isn't my house, then why is my stuff here?"
Made out of boxes in the back.
What a twist. She ships all of her stuff to the UPS store. What a twist. The next story is also mine. I'm big on the local stories, considering that I have to be staying at home. But there's an Arizona coronavirus testing blitz that's coming up. The next 3 Saturdays, at least 10,000 people in the state will be tested for coronavirus, which is good because widespread testing is important. Their goal is 60,000 people, which is really great. It's a partnership. I wrote this, but I'm going to quote it directly from myself. It's a partnership between good old Dougie, Governor Doug Ducey, the Arizona Department of Health Services, and healthcare partners for the state. There's going to be drive-through and on-site testing. So they're looking for 60,000 in the next 3 weeks in comparison to the current testing number of 70,000. So they're looking to basically and practically double the testing amount, which is good. That is a good thing. And there is nothing really bad to say about it. As long as widespread testing is available, it will make people a lot more safe. And there's really nothing else to say about it. I think Doug Ducey has done a good job over the last few days.
2 thumbs up.
A smart man. I'm a fan of his recent coronavirus action.
There you go.
I wrote this one, but if anyone else wants to get into it.
Oh, I can take this one.
Please do.
Oh boy.
Okay. Tesla. Yeah, Elon Musk. Oh boy. As if he couldn't make more money. He misses it apparently. Tesla sees Q1 profit while Elon Musk continues to be an idiot. This is literally what's written on the doc. Predicted 0 new cases by the end of April. In his tweet, to be somewhat fair, he did say current trends show. However, he still said 0 new cases by the end of April, where the U.S. now has 1 million cases. It's like within this past week surpassed 1 million. Tweeted, quote, "Free America now," in all caps, yesterday, and is an idiot like the rest of the people who are protesting these stay-at-home orders.
I
Who
wrote
are
that one.
protesting these stay-at-home orders and are saying America should open. I don't know what to tell you because I just remembered I'm supposed to be unbiased. There has to be an unbiased opinion. That
You know what? I don't think.
I think the issue is that I don't know that these people realize them going out and gathering, they're going to prolong the stay-at-home order.
the sooner, if you open up the economy too soon, which opening up the economy, like, okay, I get it, but
Right.
if you open it up too soon, you're just going to see a bigger fallback like a month from now when testing either hasn't been ramped up or it has only substantially. We're seeing more new cases and we have to close back down. It's tricky. I get it. But if you're out protesting, if you aren't staying the FF home, as Freeform says, and just watching Freeform movies where they take a freaking commercial break after every 5 minutes of the movie. I'm getting off on a tangent, but just
There's to provide context. The reopened North Carolina leader tested positive for coronavirus this week. The person who is leading the protest to reopen North Carolina tested positive for coronavirus this week. So the risk is still there, actually, surprisingly enough.
And meaning also, everyone this person was around at these protests potentially could for the past 2 weeks. We just don't know. Who's not
So,
Yeah.
The point of the story is that Elon Musk, who is touted by many internet nerds as a genius, he was being small-brained this week, and his company is still making big brain money. So can do with that as you will.
Oh my god! All I gotta say on Elon Musk is, I don't know how this man is still a popular figure after the whole accusing the scuba diver that saved those Thai kids, calling him a pedophile, and this man's still popular. He's obviously has some issues he needs to work.
He's your podcast host's favorite CEO, basically. Like, he's your favorite podcast host's favorite CEO. He's just like,
way to describe it.
He's very much like in the public eye. He's
people like
engaged to Grimes. He's just everywhere.
People find him pretty relatable too. He's talked a lot about like enjoying memes and anime and stuff. And
he smoked weed on the Joe Rogan podcast. Everyone remembers that. I just looked up Elon Musk Grimes, and apparently they're rumored that they might name their child Influenza, which would be super cool and great.
Very, very sensitive and very tactile.
Big brain time for Elon.
Oh my goodness, no, that's
Imagine going to school and your name is Influenza Musk.
That poor kid.
Affluenza Musk.
Did any trends? Were there any scientists out there that were saying we could have 0 coronavirus cases by the end of April?
It was in a response to the thing that happened in March where China said they had no new cases, but that was, I don't know if that's, I mean, you can't necessarily automatically call it false because it's reported by state officials, but also like it's hard to believe. You can put it that way.
To say.
Yeah, you can. It's hard to believe, and you can put it that way. But it's also less hard to believe because China very much is good at making people stay home. Like, they actually had people stay home and not go out and protest the order.
We're like the only
you see,
isn't staying home. Hard to believe.
Even in South Korea, they've been seeing a big, like, downward slope. Is that the word?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Downward slope. I don't know if anyone will be able to see this, but I'm doing like that with my hands.
She's moving downwards with her hand. This
Oh.
is an audio. This is an audio
Yeah.
thing, but she's moving downwards with her
Maybe
hand.
we'll post the video.
Who knows?
Oh, please don't.
But
Now that you said that, I'm going to.
but
Ah.
I've seen like they're in Seoul at least. They have signs outside of every establishment where they say, you know, you can't come in with a group of bigger than 3 people. You can't come in if you're not wearing a mask. You know, things like that. And they've seen a pretty nice decline over there. So, I mean, just wear a mask when you go out.
Wearing a mask to protect yourself and the people around you is mostly the people around you is important.
Also, wearing a mask isn't living in fear. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, if you wear a mask, I mean, like most countries wear masks just in general anyway. Like there's a lot of countries who have turned it not only into a fashion statement, but they just like wear PPE in general. And it's like, that's cool. Like I mean, I worked the Ariana Grande concert this year. She sold masks. It's a fashion statement. I don't think they offered any protective value, but she sold them.
Like waves and things, right? I think that's maybe a factor in it too, where they have that fashion culture of it. I don't know.
And it's like, if you turn this into a fashionable thing, I mean, the NBA is selling masks. I'm going to get myself a insert sports team that I support mask here. That's I'm probably going to get a mask from them. So it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
Speaking of stuff that we're doing here, Arizona has the stay-at-home order until the 15th with modifications. Does someone want to explain what that means?
Basically, what I'm seeing in terms of modifications is that there's going to be a partial reopening of retail on May 4th, and it's going to be, socially distanced, enforced, like maximum capacity requirements lowered to make sure that there's only a certain amount of people in a certain size store at a certain amount of time. And then there's going to be some expansion of it Friday, May 8th, probably for more like smaller local stores. But there's going to be a lot of rule enforcement there. Restaurants could be opening May 12th, fingers crossed, because I do have some rent to make up. No matter what, I guess I'm going back to work. And there's no plans to reopen bars at the moment, which I have no comment on, but I'm sure that many of you can establish how I feel about that.
I mean, I'm not over 21 yet, so I have no opinion. I can't have an opinion.
My age will not be established, but you might be able to guess how old I am. As a rising senior at Arizona State University.
Never ask Vaughan his age.
Never ask. It's impolite. But
He's a journalist of a certain age.
Yes, I am a journalist of a certain age. I'm a big boy. We'll put it that way. I'm a grown man. But I think that this is kind of smart, as long as like rules are actually being enforced. Mm-hmm. I was at Safeway the other day, and there's one-way directions for aisles so that people don't pass by each other going separate ways in aisles. And there's a maximum capacity, and the capacity is being enforced, but I can say with certainty that the one-way aisle directions are not being enforced, because two 80-year-old and an 80-year-old couple at the Safeway was walking the wrong way down the aisle with no masks, and it was just, I think there needs to be a better job, especially in like major retailers. Like if your store is big, you need to have a lot of employees posted up in a lot of places to make sure that people are being intelligent with how they handle things.
Living on the edge too. They're like, we may be part of one of the most vulnerable groups to this thing, but
they got to get the peanut butter. We were in the aisle that had a little pudding in the peanut butter, so I don't question their logic. If you want pudding, you have to go get it.
Nicole is in that aisle too.
That's true. That's very true. That's a necessity.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the news. We have some entertainment stuff. I wrote this. I wrote a lot of these stories, folks. I have nothing to do. I have a lot of time on my hands.
Amoeba?
Amoeba Records. Yeah, they're like they're like one of the largest like record sales, like music stores anywhere. And their coolest location that had like the most prime real estate on Sunset Boulevard in LA. They just don't have enough money to reopen that location. They're moving to smaller real estate in a less prime location, but they just like don't have the money right now.
That's a shame.
It is. There actually is an amoeba near downtown Phoenix. Fun fact. It's a pretty cool place. It's pretty small though. I will use this time to say support your local record stores because they're getting hit hard by this because they need the money to survive. Zia Records is doing who I love. I love Zia Records. I'm on record as saying that I love Zia Records. $30 or more. They're doing free shipping if you'd like to buy some records from them. And they're handling it with personal protective equipment and being very safe about it. But hopefully they are one of the people that get to reopen pretty soon. But just like, if you want some records, if you want any sort of music, they do records, old CDs, cassette tapes, Blu-ray and DVDs for movies, video games. You can buy stuff on their website. So,
and I'm looking at the inside of Amoeba Records. I'm going to share my screen with you guys really quick.
So we can all take a look. It's cool.
Huge.
Wow.
It's cool, right? It's awesome. And like hopefully their location is big enough to still house all the stuff that they have, but they are like the blueprint for the modern blueprint of like Zia Records and like stores like that sell CDs and records and books and everything. So it's sad, but at least they still have the money to reopen somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Onward.
Support your local record stores, please.
Yeah, support every local business ever, but like as someone who
Yes.
likes music a lot, I'm the music director of Blaze Radio. In case it's a quick plug. I like music a lot, so I have to re-interview for that position next week. So hopefully I get it again.
Good luck. We believe in you.
Yeah, thank you. This next one's on Nicole. I know who wrote this one.
Oh my God. Does anyone else watch this series, Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
I do not.
I have watched it previously. I know of it. I have not caught the new season yet because I didn't finish the original series.
So I actually have a friend, shout out Joelle, who will probably never listen to this, but she stays up every time there's a new episode of this released. She'll stay up. She'll sometimes take a nap in the middle of the night. At like 10 o'clock, she'll take a nap so she can be awake and stay awake to watch the new episodes as soon as they're released.
I love that.
I was on FaceTime with her the last time an episode went up, and she was like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta take a nap. And I was like, it's 8 o'clock, what do you mean? And she's like, well, the Clone Wars comes out, and I want to make sure I'm awake for it, so I'm gonna take a nap. So that's kind of my experience with that one. But so what's going on?
Well, this beloved series is coming to an end this weekend. Final episode on May the 4th. You know, like May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day.
Yeah. If you celebrate that holiday, you are a nerd.
I am a nerd.
Because you like both Star Wars and puns, which are very high on the nerd totem.
Dude, are we gonna have to take Nicole's lunch money now?
Yes.
Bully her?
Fork it over.
Okay, I am a nerd, but anyway, this series, along with the Lego Star Wars games, you know, on like Wii or Xbox or whatever, are what got me into Star Wars originally. So this series, which started back in 2008 on Cartoon Network, ended when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they canceled it. They got their technically sixth season that was just on Netflix. And Disney Plus decided to pick it back up, thank God. And now we've had the final 12 episodes. The final 4, I think, have been the best of these past 2 have been the best of Star Wars, period. Like, I'm serious.
Better than Empire? Are you telling me that this is better than Empire?
Okay, maybe second to Empire, maybe. But these past 2 episodes especially have just been so good. Part of it is my background, what you're seeing currently, if you're watching this video, which maybe you're not.
So cool.
But
for context,
to me, Ahsoka Tano is the best Jedi ever, and she's the best female Jedi ever, at least. And that is all. I love this series, and may the 4th be with you.
Oh,
Hey!
We going nuts. Sports stories, sports time. This is really fun to do without breaks. Just keep talking. Last Dance is a thing.
Sports time.
If you guys haven't been watching Last Dance, oh man, it's the Michael Jordan documentary that ESPN is airing. It is going so absolutely dumb every time. You have former Bulls GM Jerry Krause doing the Running Man. You have Michael Jordan saying that his entire rookie year team was doing drugs. It goes nuts. It's crazy. Literally,
Whoa.
like, once school is over, my time will just be like counting down between 6 p.m. on Sundays when I get to watch 2 episodes of this outstanding documentary.
Hey,
It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen, and it's not even over yet. It's 4/10 of the way done because there's 10 episodes and I've seen 4. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever watched.
It's so cool. I mean, it takes you in depth. You're hearing the players talk about things that they don't have to be super sensitive about anymore because it's
Oh yeah, and it's uncensored. So you
Yeah.
hear like Scottie Pippen drop an F-bomb on
Well-
TV and you're like, whoa.
Well, in the past 2 episodes were filled with F-bombs. It was
Oh, yes.
incredible. And as a Bulls fan, I hate Jerry Krause. But in other
all my homies
Finally-
hate Jerry Krause.
my homies hate Jerry Krause. But the Bulls are finally actually doing things in their front office. Gar Forman's gone, new GM, Paxson, who you're seeing talk in the documentary, who was really good in the playoffs actually, was moved to a senior advisor role because they're being nice. Blackhawks just fired their CEO. Times are changing. Look at what The Last Dance is doing for Chicago.
Yeah, once like everyone remembers that Michael Jordan was really good at basketball in the city of Chicago, is like, let's fix whatever we got going
They're
on.
like, wait a minute.
Yes.
That.
This next one, oh my god.
Oh,
So
Yes.
Wait, actually, just a second. Before you move on, I just want to say, not watch The Last Dance, but I did see a screen grab from it when they were interviewing Obama and calling him former Chicago
yes,
resident.
Barack Obama, former Chicago resident.
I did
There have been 2 presidents, I think, dude. Like they're just
Clinton.
yeah, Clinton was on it too. So you have
was the
2
Arkansas
former
governor?
presidents. Yeah, because he was so 2 former presidents. I don't know when they're gonna bring in like they're gonna bring in something else crazy. I know it's gonna absolutely go nuts, especially like the last 2 episodes. We're gonna go crazy. It's great.
and that's
It's just
smack
so good.
when I think it was in an interview they referred to Barack Obama as Michelle Obama's husband.
Yes.
Similar vibe.
Very similar vibe.
My next story here. So the U.S. government said, hey, if you're a small business and you need a bailout, you can apply for a small business bailout. The only NBA team to apply for the bailout was the Los Angeles Lakers, the opposite of a small business. They're quite a large business. And they got $4.6 million, looked around, saw no other NBA team applied for the loan, much less got money for it, and then they returned all the money.
Poverty franchise.
Poverty franchise. Number 1 in the Western Conference, number 30 in NBA franchise logic.
Yep.
I love it. I love it very much.
They probably didn't think it was a big deal, and then they were like, "Oh man."
Yeah, when they noticed that no other NBA team applied for it, they were like, "Oh," and then they gave the money back.
Of course they did.
There
They
was
should have.
a restaurant that they
You-
also
someone
had
used to-
gotten
Sorry.
a loan and given it back, like a
You-
fast food place.
You know how many Amoeba records they could have saved with $4.6 million?
Yeah, an actual small business, huh?
And well, I mean, not a small business, but a business that needs relief in Los Angeles could have gotten that money, but didn't. Just a shame. The NFL draft is next. I honestly forgot that happened more recently.
I know.
It happened this last weekend, and it felt like it happened like a month ago at this point.
Well, you know
Time
how
doesn't exist
the
anymore.
NBA draft. You know how the NBA draft is happening as someone who's not really, or NFL draft. I'm sorry, and the NBA draft.
It's happening.
You know
soon.
that it's happening as someone who doesn't really pay attention to sports, when every single sports person you're friends with is on their Snapchat story like, let's go, oh my god, or they're raging at their TV.
I didn't do that, even though insert sports team that I support here did a really good job. And unrelated to that, the Cardinals did a really good job in the draft this year. They drafted ASU running back Benjamin, which makes me sob with joy because I can openly say that I do love the ASU Sun Devils. As an ASU student, it seems like some pretty fair logic there. If Matt Berry can do it, so can I. I was really excited about it. Isaiah Simmons, who is Just a G is now on the Cardinals. He plays like, when someone asked him what position he played, he said, "I play defense," which is highly irregular because usually defensive players have one position or two positions at most, but he plays like four at least. But of course, the defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, said he's going to play one position for the Cardinals, which makes so much sense. I love it. Isaiah Weaver, Cal, right?
Evan Weaver? Yeah.
Yeah, Evan Weaver. I said Isaiah. Evan Weaver, Cal. He was pretty good. The Cardinals are getting a lot of like A's and A minuses across like the draft sphere of like, here's your draft grade, which is good because they had a lot of holes to plug if they were gonna capitalize on the Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins connection. DeAndre Hopkins is a pretty good second round pick if you ask me.
I'd say so. And Benjamin is the last Sun Devil the Cardinals have picked since Pat Tillman.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Which was
Whoa.
Tillman's run was recently, by the way, as well. Which was cool. People still did it. People still like tracked their run progress and like ran for Pat Tillman, which was really nice. I usually don't get to participate because it happens on the weekends of my sister's birthday every single year. But we do love former Sun Devil and statue haver Pat Tillman.
Yes.
Yep.
Forks way.
Yep. You cannot meet an Arizonan that would say an Arizonan or a Sun Devil that say a foul word about Pat Tillman.
Agreed.
Can't do it.
Very hard agree. Nicole, would you like to talk about the Packers because you have
Oh,
expertise because they're in the same division as insert sports team that Nicole supports?
From insert city I live in. I do want to note on the Cardinals, Isaiah Simmons was not expected to fall to the 8th pick, and he did.
Oh,
so that was an absolute steal. Evan Weaver was an absolute steal.
Man,
where he
if
was.
if I was a Cardinals fan, hypothetically, I would be really excited about it. Just hypothetically.
No, the Cardinals did well this year.
Yes. Will only get better. So as Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, Hopkins, that trade still doesn't make sense. I can't believe that happened. What is 2020? Jeez. I love Bill O'Brien as a GM though, I will say. So Cardinals do a good, but Packers do a bad as a insert sports city here. My rival, Love Island, ? Jordan Love from Utah State was selected 26 overall by the Packers, where they traded up to get him.
Pretty sure they already have a quarterback.
I thought so too. He doesn't like his family though, so maybe.
On record, it says here they have Aaron Rodgers. I'm not necessarily, and they did until they cut him. They had former Sun Devil quarterback Manny Wilkins.
That's poor guy. But yeah, they traded up for him. He led the NCAAs in interceptions last year. Okay. He had a far better sophomore year than junior year. The deepest wide receiver class, and the Packers didn't select any. They didn't select any help for Aaron Rodgers, except they did get a running back, even though they already had a running back. And A.J. Dillon from Boston College, who kind of fell off the map the past 2 years, and a tight end who I honestly don't remember. As far as who had the best draft for me, Dolphins did pretty good. Ravens, Cardinals, a lot of good all-around drafts for insert sports city here. I thought the Bears actually did okay despite people knocking them for getting offensive tackles really late in the draft. I thought they still did pretty well for what they got. They got the tight end that I may or may not have wanted as an unbiased sports fan. But
if you like that team, you do very much want that tight end on the team. It's very interesting to see how stacked the NFL draft this year was, and then all NBA fans just do not care about the NBA draft because it just does not matter. None of the players are that good except maybe LaMelo Ball, so nobody really cares. The other stories, MLB late June, 10-team divisions. Everyone plays in their home arenas instead of in Arizona, which is what was being discussed. What?
What?
Whoa.
Can I name off these divisions real quick?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Please
I don't know
do.
if we should name, but there's like, it's like West, Central, and East, which is really funny.
It's just, East is, I mean, it's what you'd expect, but you're seeing like teams from the NL and the AL. Like, why can't I find Arizona?
They're in the West.
I figured, but I can't see their name. This is weird. Oh, there they are. But they'd have like the Dodgers, Angels, Giants, Athletics, Padres, Rockies, Rangers, Astros, and Mariners. So just
yeah, and if you're a Diamondbacks fan, I'm not sure that you like being in that one. Hypothetically, I don't know if you like being in that one because it seems a little bit more difficult than the field.
The
So
Cubs would be in the same division as the Sox, which would actually be kind of fun for if I were a fan of those teams.
Yeah.
But which I may or may not be.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
A lot of fun rivalries. There's a lot of like rivalry sparking going on here, which is cool. And that's really all that matters, is that it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the next few weeks are going to be pretty indicative of whether we can keep everybody in the bubble and keep everyone safe. But there's also a slight talk. I saw Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer talk about it, of the NBA using Walt Disney World in Florida and their extensive amount of hotels and basketball courts, because that's where they do the Florida Summer League. And for the NBA would potentially be the return target, because Disney owns ESPN, so the TV deal would be very easy. But then it's also, because it's private property, very easy to keep that bubble, because the NBA was talking about Las Vegas, but they were going to move it to Florida because it'd be easier to keep that private property bubble and make sure nobody gets in and infects anybody. So it's big brain time. It's big brain time.
Wow.
Sports,
Interesting plans.
Sports potentially coming back is good news for sports fans. I can say that I am a fan of sports. There's no hypothetical about it.
There are sports.
I do like
NASCAR,
sports. Oh, that's
NASCAR,
right. Virtual NASCAR,
Derby.
virtual horses. Please
Oh,
talk about the virtual horses.
I literally just heard about this about a half hour ago. Virtual Kentucky Derby, 13 Triple Crown winners. Excuse me. Secretariat is favored 7-2. Justified from 2018 and American Pharoah from 2015.
We love American Pharoah.
The two most recent Triple Crown winners are also in the race.
I actually watched American Pharoah win the Triple Crown, and that's the only horse racing I've ever like genuinely watched and was interested in. But it was super cool.
oh my gosh.
It was very cool.
How are they gonna do it? Are they gonna just have really virtual horses, or is it like
Let's
like
they said they're gonna run it at virtual Churchill Downs. I'm just trying to see, like, is there, because with NASCAR, it's not like they're just playing the NASCAR Xbox game or anything and controlling the car on the controller. They actually have, it's kind of cool. They actually have, I'm also a NASCAR fan. I'm really exposing myself here, but they actually have
what
like
about NASCAR?
like 3 projectors or monitors or whatever. They have actual gas and brakes that they're pressing on, wheel.
And a little bit of racism, but that's old news. Everyone already knows about that.
So
that
with
was
the horses, are they gonna try and do like horse
jockeys?
Oh, wait, U.S. law forbids betting on virtual racing. Huh.
Interesting. So are they gonna have the jockeys like ride a virtual horse?
That's what I'm wondering.
That would be super interesting.
NASCAR drivers drive their little car setup. You know, are they gonna do like not the merry-go-round? You know that thing that they always have at theme parks with the horses on it and it goes around? What is that called?
Carousel.
Oh, it's a carousel.
Yeah,
Either or.
Yeah, either one.
Put the jockey on it and then do like the same thing as they do with the NASCAR cars.
So it says it's simulated, but it's not saying how, not that I can find. So you'll just have to tune in, I guess. I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
Virtual Kentucky Derby. Who would have known? Like if I just a challenge. If anyone ever invents a time machine, please go back to the versions of ourselves from about 6 months ago and say, oh yeah, there's gonna be a huge pandemic and you're gonna have a virtual Kentucky Derby.
I would go to like the first Kentucky Derby and all the people dress super funny, and I'd be like, this is eventually going to be on a TV screen, but it's a TV screen that has more power than the rocket that went to the moon. I don't know when the first Kentucky Derby was, but they might not even know about that yet.
I was don't know about that yet. They'd probably be like, what's a TV?
When was the first Kentucky Derby? It was 1875, so they didn't know about anything. No idea. I forget when the telephone was invented, but they might not even know about that.
No, the telephone was the turn of the century.
Okay.
I think they had telegraphs.
Yeah, those people are stupid. They don't know anything.
Wait, Gideon, with the time machine, you also have to go back and tell them that the FBI will expose UFOs, but it won't even be news because
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
so-
it was the Pentagon.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Pentagon was like, "Hey, you guys want some footage of UFOs you can watch while you're all sitting in your houses?" And everyone was like, "I don't care.
No,
I simply don't care. I
Yeah,
can't wait for
but-
next year's wave of coronavirus when we do virtual UFO racing. I think that's going to be
Also,
going to
when
be a
did
big
the
market.
Kentucky Derby was?
I believe this Saturday.
Well, because isn't it Derby weekend this
No,
weekend?
the first one ever.
The first Kentucky Derby was 1875.
So it was a year before the telephone was invented. Because
Oh, you,
according to Google, it was 1876 when
you guys aren't ready for that yet.
when Alexander Graham
But
Bell
your
got
kids are gonna love it.
your kids are gonna love it. Oh,
That's
Nicole.
my favorite movie, folks.
Nicole, can you say the line though? It's highlighted in the doc.
Oh wait,
It's highlighted in the doc.
I was all the way at the top. There's only one race. The human race. What about the Kentucky Derby? that is the source of that is a vine. There is only one race. The human
race.
What about NASCAR?
But what about the Kentucky
Nicole's
Derby?
two passions.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Only
All
one
right.
Really close
We
myself
all
as a
have
nerd
to-
on this panel today.
To make this feel like a real traffic jam, Kirsten, I'm gonna need you to say water. I'm gonna do the Bernie chant, and then we're gonna call it a day.
All right. Well, we got Nicole to say her thing. I'll say water really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll do the Bernie chant. Bernie, Bernie, Bernie. Even though the New York State took him off the ballot. No comment. No comment, New York State. No comment. We still love you, Bernie.
Can't comment, but
Oh, my shirt came finally. My Bernie Sanders stroke shirt that I bought finally came. My hypothetical Bernie Sanders stroke shirt, if I were to support Bernie Sanders as a presidential candidate, came in the hypothetical mail run by the hypothetical U.S. Postal Service that Bernie not hypothetically wanted to save.
All hypothetical.
Except for the USPS part.
that does exist.
Thank you for tuning in patiently to this really fun Zoomed traffic jam. If you're an ASU student, good luck on your finals. If you
listen to this while you study.
Yeah, maybe listen while you study. We're informing the people. Good luck on your finals. If you're a member of USGT, I hope you have a great year.
Oh yeah. God bless you.
I hope you have a great year.
Yeah.
If you're a member of USGD, you might be Kirsten, and if so, I wish you well.
I would hypothetically say thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Gideon, Nicole, Kirsten, and also thank you to me, Vaughan, for being on this really fun Zoom traffic jam. I'm sure we'll be on a Zoom again. I don't know whether we'll record it, but I'm sure that we'll probably Zoom again before we all come back.
Yes.
Fingers crossed
Yes.
for fall, everybody. Miss you all. Thanks for listening to Blaze Radio. Coming up next is either a song that I put there or a different show, maybe Desi Tunes, who knows.
You'll have to find out.
Yeah.
You'll have to just listen and find out.
Okay, now Nicole, hit
Nicole, you can end the recording.